Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel, and the first classics of the season are done and dusted. Chaldine and more, just as I said, Chaldean is the actual pronunciation of the horse there, as many people on ITV were talking about on the weekend. Those two are fantastic in the classics. Two horses that really show the sport in a fantastic light. And now we're looking ahead to a cracking week in horse racing. We're going to look at Chester's midweek meeting and the Derby trials over at Lingfield on the weekend. So as a small look towards maybe the Victoria Cup at Ascot as well. Plenty of handicaps, plenty of group races, and a few tasty listed races. Gentlemen, it's a fantastic week. Lots of racing. It may not be the top racing, but it's still very good. And Lee, it's been a good week at the Guineas, good week at Newmarket, and now we're looking ahead to Chester. What more can you ask for, really?
Yeah, it was a great week. Great weekend there for us as well. Sunday was really good. We had plenty of winners there on our live show, so people need to tune into that 10:30 on a Saturday morning. But we had plenty of winners provided, and yeah, two good Guinea winners. I really did like Morge's performance. Thought that one went through the race really well. The two of them pulled miles clear the third, so yeah, interesting to see what she does throughout the season.
It is very interesting. Yeah, both of them are very good. Tahira so close to getting up, but obviously, if I didn't have this, I didn't have the winner. Harry did. Morge obviously put up on the live. Very well done, Harry. You must have been smiling by Sunday evening.
I was, but I really fancied Tahira. I mean, I know obviously I put up Morge, but I was speaking to Lee during the day, and I just thought that the right money was down for Tahira. And even though the trainer comments were kind of a little bit negative, she ran a race. I just thought in the finish, I just think Morge just looked a bigger horse, and the size of Tahira compared to Morge was just, I thought she looked smaller and just more nippier, and Morge just battled and battled and battled.
I thought Morge intimidated, by the way. Like, I thought Tahira for all the world should have gone past and sort of just like hung her head a little bit in, and Morge sort of just out battled her, I thought. But I think Tahira may end up being the better horse, but on the day, Morge was the better horse that day.
But I would genuinely think, though, if those two were to meet again, I wouldn't put it past Morge to beat her.
Yeah,
I just think that it was a proper performance. Oshin, I mean, he had a winner in the he had a really good winner in the Pretty Polly. I can't remember the name. I actually took the horse.
Running Lion.
Running Lion, that's the horse.
Yeah.
Really good weekend. Obviously, second on High Royal. I don't even want to pronounce his name.
Chaldean, that's the pronunciation I can on lockdown, yeah.
But I think all the trainers, bar Andrew Bolden, are still saying Chaldine. So I don't really know what to make of that. No, a good weekend. We move on. The flat is really kicking on now, though, and these are a fantastic few days. These are Chester and obviously Lingfield at the weekend, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a really, really good weekend. If you didn't back the winners provided from Harry and Lee, if you did the to be placed ACCA of my horses, you would have been absolutely in clover on Sunday. So if anyone has, please do DM me on Twitter with those ACCAs, because I'd really like to see them. We're going to talk about Chester first of all. We're not going to talk about the Wednesday, because by the time we upload this on Wednesday morning, the prices may have changed. You probably wouldn't have time to watch it in time ahead of the racing. So we're diving straight into Thursday. We may mention a couple of horses for the two races on the Wednesday at Chester of note at the end. So stick around for that. But we're going to go on to Thursday to give plenty of people time to take in our fancies. And the first race we're going to talk about is the listed D stakes. Very interesting contest here. Just the 8 runners, so dead on for 3 places. Older tops the market. Donica O'Brien 11-4. Local Dynasty 4-1. Hadrinus in there 5-1. Passenger 5-1 as well. Opening word, I'll go over to Harry first of all on the D stakes. What do you fancy in the opening race here that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I know myself and Lee, we're gonna mention the same horse here, and it's Passenger. Now, this horse was completely not fancied at all in a Wood Ditton Stakes that was made. I mean, it had new business in there for the Baldings. Kitab was for the Haggis in there, comfortably beaten by Passenger. And the Wood Ditton's been won before by some pretty nifty horses, and going up in trip, I think this horse could be even better. And obviously, it's an extended distance from Newmarket to Chester, an extra 2.5 furlongs. Richard Kingscote will be on board this time instead of Ryan Moore, who's obviously going to be booked for Ballydoyle on San Antonio. I think Ryan Moore might be a little bit sick if Passenger was to go on and win this, because I think he's got a massive chance. Recorded a really nice RPR, And listen, the Michael Stout team, they're going good guns at the minute. And if they can keep going, I can't see any reason why Pasture won't run a big race. Store 5, decent draw. Obviously, we know what the draw holds for horses round Lingfield. Obviously, you've got the top 3 in the market.
Chester, Harry, not
Chester.
Lingfield. Come on, switch on.
The top 3 in the market, they're drawn 1, 2, 3. So there might be a little bit of pace on for the front. I think if Passenger can just kind of get into a rhythm, I wouldn't be surprised if this horse runs a massive race. And 11-2 is a big price.
Yeah, it's a big race and big price. Sorry, and Lee, when I was looking at this race just only a few hours ago, this horse was 13-2, now 5-1, and I know it's a horse you fancy as well for Sir Michael Stout. So yeah, you and Harry agreeing on the first race.
Yeah, no, I like the way the horse went about stuff in the Wood Ditton. That was over a mile on good. This will be good to soft, maybe it's even softer. It is over 1 mile, 2.5. I think the step up and trip will suit. That was a class 3, and like Harry says, it does often throw some good horses up that Wood Ditton there. So I think the step up and trip will help, and just the way the horse went about its work in that race, I thought was very impressive. And yeah, I think the step up the listed race won't be a problem. Passenger for me.
Yeah, I respect it, and I did sort of was put off the horse last day when it was drifting, but won really well. I just going against it today. I'm with Local Dynasty. I think the soft ground could be quite key here. It's good to soft, as Harry said, and they're expecting a little bit of rain tomorrow. When we release it would be today on the Wednesday. Might be a little bit of rain on Thursday as well. So I can't see this being any better than good to soft. But I've said that many occasions. It's been completely wrong comment to say, but it should be good to soft. The cross of the horse is actually very interesting. Dubai, yeah. Shamadal mare, pronunciations galore there. Same cross as One Ruler, Highland Avenue, Creative Flair, all Godolphin horses who have stepped up to 1 mile 2 with fair success. Won first time out on a maiden last year, was 5th behind Caldien over 7 furlongs, 3 starts ago, and just wants a bit further to my eye. I think he's a very, very decent horse. So I'll be with Local Dynasty, 4-1 there for Charlie Appleby, Will Buick. And a new addition there, we've got our final fancies for the race there scrolling on the bottom. So if you missed the horse that we said, do go check it out right there. We'll hopefully have that on going throughout the video. But that's the D stakes we looked at, gentlemen. We'll go on to the Group 3 contest, the Ormonde Stakes, later on in the card. Should be a very good contest this, just directly after. Just the 8 as well, so 3 places again if we're looking for that each way angle. Hamish 2-1, Changing of the Guard, Freeze, Isra 13-2, bigger prices, much bigger prices about the rest. I'll go to you first of all, Lee. What do you fancy in the Ormonde Stakes?
I'm really strong on Hamish. I think it's a good bet, to be fair. It won this race last season. It beat Thunderous, went on to run second to Kyprios, only beaten 3/4 of a length in the Irish St. Ledger at the Curragh. Had won the Cumberland Lodge, the Group 3 at Ascot, and then went and ran second in October, I believe it was, to Max Vega. That was over 1 mile 4. I think the soft conditions, the step up to 1 mile 5.5, I think that will suit as well. I think it's a strong stayer, likes conditions. It's been second to the likes of Trushan. I think was 4th to Trushan when Stradivarius was 3rd as well. So it's got really good form lines, and I just think it's a really strong bet. I know it's only 2-1, but I think 2-1's probably fair enough. The likes of Old Harrovian got to step up. Issaraw's in here, but it's also in the Chester Cup, I believe, and got a few entries, but that one bombed out the last day. And Changing of the God is obviously a classy individual, but I just think Hamish will handle conditions best and stay on best.
Yeah, I think you might be in a bit of agreement here, Lee. Harry, what do you fancy in this race?
I think it's 3 out of 3 by the sounds of it. Obviously, these 2 at the top of the market, these are the only 2 that I can see properly fighting out. My only worry would be Changing of the Guard was very, very impressive at this meeting last year. He made all, and obviously New London was in behind that day, absolutely battered. Ryan Moore got the fractions right and just kept set sail round the bend. And if you're in front round the bend, it's going to take a bloody good horse to get past.
But 328 days off, though.
Yeah, and well, Hamish has had 200 days off, so there is a little bit of a difference in there.
Yeah.
I do agree that Hamish is classy. I think this is going to be a tougher race than last year.
Agreed.
I think the likes of Thunderous, etc. I think if you were to put those horses against Changing of the Guard, I think Changing of the Guard would win. But I think the way Hamish has just kind of gone on. I mean, you look at the 3/4 length Kyprios. He was 4th in an Ascot, the long distance cup. I just think his form reads really nicely. He obviously went to Ascot again. He beat Cresta by a length. He's just a proper game horse, and I think that's what you need. And listen, if Tommy Marcon can get this horse in a good rhythm, obviously back from his little kick at Newmarket, I think he's got a massive
It was
chance.
some kick. It wasn't a little kick.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Some
Nasty.
Yeah, I'd be with Hamish as well here. I think it's a 3 for 3 on Hamish. Like, we all really fancy it here. It's the obvious case of won it last year. Soft ground form is there. First time out record's good as well. Beat Hookham off a big break. Won this race last year off a break, and that second to Kyprios and an Irish St. Ledger is also good. That was off a break. You've already said everything I need to say about this horse. I'm with Hamish at 2-1. If I was to give you an each way angle into the race, I backed the last day, and it'd be remiss of me not to mention it, and probably have a small couple of pence each way on the day. Lone Eagle was a horse that I thought could run well the last day at Newbury. Didn't go for it, but if you look at his wins and when it's run good races, it's been from the front. At Newbury, sort of came from the rear, didn't really get into it at all, and finished 6 lengths back. I know Hurricane Lane disappointed in that race again, but Hurricane Lane's gone to do wonders next time out. If you even go back sort of like 4 or 5 starts, that second to Hurricane Lane at the Curragh in the Irish Derby reads very well. Soft ground conditions should be right there. Stall 5 again shouldn't be too much of an issue. Hopefully just get in a decent position early on and not get too far out on the outside of Chester. But I think he's bigger. He's a big price there at 14-1, Lone Eagle. But Hamish all the way, really, for me. It's a hat trick on Hamish, it seems. We'll quickly scroll on to Friday. Very good day on Friday. It's some very good races, obviously the group race and the main race of the meeting, which is the Chester Cup. But the Huxley Stakes is the one that takes our view first of all. Over 1 mile 2, 13 runners. Point Lonsdale 7-4. Fox's Towels 5-1. Sorry, Much Tubber 5-1. Poker Face 5-1. Visualization 5-1. Plenty of horses in there at the scummy each way price. Harry, what do you fancy in the Huxley Stakes?
Yeah, big old price for me. And listen, I don't know whether this horse will actually go. I don't have any reason why he shouldn't go, but I think Bolshoi Ballet at 14-1 is a criminal price. See, this horse has got so much. He showed so much potential, but then kind of just remember this horse went off 11-8 to win the Derby. This horse was absolutely looked like a good thing for so long and just disappointed. But then obviously went globe-trotting, went to Belmont, won there. I think that after a nice break, this horse had a long break this time. Last year, went to, I think the 1 mile 2 after a break is a perfect trip. But then they went over to 1 mile 6 at Navan on his return like a couple of weeks ago. Was beaten 8 lengths. Wasn't a bad ride. I just think was beaten by a proper good horse and a proper stayer in Emily Dickinson. I wouldn't like to see the ground go properly soft for his chances. I think he's better on a quicker surface. But then again, if he can get in a good rhythm, I have no reason to suggest why he can't run well at a massive price. So Bolshoi Ballet, for me, I think is an awfully big price at 14-1.
I thought you were going to say awful price there. It should be 25-1. Lee, what do you fancy in the Huxley Stakes?
Just to see it, is criminal price, is that on Harry's bingo card or not?
I think we have a few bingo prizes.
Put it on the bingo card. No, I like Point Lonsdale here. Chesham winner at 7 furlongs. Won the Group 2 futurity at the Curragh after that. Second in Native Trail and the Group 1 National Stakes. And then it bombed out in the 2000 Guineas, but come back, reappeared and beat Visualization on its return. That one went and won a Group 2. Obviously, that reappears in this race, but that won a Group 2. Beat Lafayette as well. On that day, it was 8.5 lengths behind that one. That one was second there, only beating 1.5 in the Group 2. So the form line's strong. It's got a lot of good entries coming up as well. I know Aidan probably just covers his back with them, but it's in the Coronation Cup at EPSOM, Prince of Wales at Ascot, the Eclipse at Sandown. I think this will turn out to be one of his better horses this season. And I've been against Aidan in a couple of races this week, but I think Point Lonsdale will take the Huxley.
Yeah, short price obviously there, and 2 Aidan O'Brien horse put up by the both of you. I'm going to be repping the English here with the Simon Egg Crisford team. I'm going to give it's not my strongest fancy in the world. It'd be half windy, but Poker Face for me 5-1. Second to Ottoman Fleet last time out, I thought was really good. I'd say he wouldn't be like 100% for that race now. Like he'd probably be just a little bit undercooked, waiting to be sort of a little bit race fit, but ran a fantastic race still, and finished second. For the world, I thought he was going to win. Then Ottoman Fleet, but Charlie Appleby gave it away with his interview with Matt Chapman, saying this is the horse they've been waiting to see for the day, and it won very nicely. Unexposed up to that, unbeaten up until that, and then the 1 mile 2 should be fine here. The soft ground should be fine as well, being a fast net rock out of a Galileo mare. So I'd be with Poker Face. I think he's quite a nifty horse, and for mark of 108, so they obviously raised him fairly highly in the handicapping department. I say he's got a bit of improvement to go, so I'll be with Poker Face here, and fingers crossed can get the job done for the Crisfords. Lovely stuff, gentlemen. We'll then go on to the Chester Cup, the feature handicap of the week at Chester, and it is a big amount of entries. We talk 53, with only 17 getting a run, so please make sure you picked a horse that will hopefully get a run. Noble Legends tops the market 9-2, Falcon 8 9-1, Green Book 9-1 there for Phoenicia Williams, Metier 10s, Zoffi 12s, Roginski 14s. Bigger about the rest. Come over to you first of all, Lee, for the first start at the Chester Cup. What do you fancy?
Yeah, this favourite Noble Legend could be thrown in. I do think it bolted in the last day, only up £3 off 88. I think it's fair enough price. Definitely gets the trip, low weight. I think it could be thrown in. I will have a saver on that one, but there's a few I like at bigger prices. I like Zoffi. I think it didn't get the run in the Cesarewitch when fourth under Frankie. That was off the same mark as today. It's around 14s. I think twice it's been blocked in its run. I think it was beaten around 7.5 lengths or so in the Cesarewitch. I think it could have been a lot closer. I'm not saying it would have won, but it done the same one behind Alfred Butcher in a strong race at York, went third as well. Didn't get the run there. So Zoffi, and I also think Yukon Glen could probably run well off a good mark. It is a 10-year-old. You know how I feel about these old boys, but I think could run a good race off a good mark if it stays the trip. So Yukon Glen as well. But my main hope is Call My Bluff for Dominic French Davies, who's on a 25% strike rate in the last 14 days, been going really well this season. And I think we'll know it'll stay the trip because it was beaten ahead of 86 when second here over 2 mile 2.5. So we know it'll stay the trip. It's now off 88. Last time out, it was second to the favourite though, and beaten about 6 lengths. But I think it can come on for that, and I think the mark's fair enough. I think it's around 16s. Ash, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, 16-1.
Yeah, so I think my each way one will be Call My Bluff, but I do like Zoffi and Yukon Glen against the favourite.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here. Call My Bluff. I think he's got a very good chance here for Dominic French Davis. The run the last day again, like just ran into a race fit rival in Noble Legend, and hopefully should come on for that. Will hopefully be 100% fit for the race. And there's already been a touch of money ante-post, sort of 25s into best price 16s. Soft ground is sort of key to this horse, and you'd be hoping it's soft ground. 6 needs to come out, I believe. 4 needs to come out for it to get a run. You'd hope, fingers crossed, it gets a run with the amount of entries there. If not, it'll drop down obviously into Chester Plate or whatever it's called, the second race of the Chester Cup.
Consolation one, yeah.
That's the one, consolation one. If it doesn't get into it, and I have a horrendous record in picking horses who are only a couple out and still don't get a run, I'll give you one that hopefully will get a run. Calling the Wind will be sort of my other play in the race. I think a very solid performer here. He should be 100% for the run, down to a mark of 100, which looks to be fairly lenient. Been bombing it around sort of like Royal Ascot last 2 years in that race that Stratton's won a couple of times. The name of the race is
Queen Alexander, is it?
That's the one, correct. Soft ground again, key is a proven stay. You know that Queen Alexander's a fair trip to get that one. Been racing up 2 mile 5 as well. Looks just a solid horse, and is number 7 currently, so should get a run. And down to a fairly lenient mark of 100.
Is Spencer jocked up? Is he for that one?
Spencer is jocked up. It's going to be a Jamie Spencer special. Yeah. We all love backing Jamie Spencer horses. So I'll be with that sort of as an each way play. But my main one is Call My Bluff. Harry sat there very patiently. What do you fancy in the race?
Well, if we're going off literal form, Call My Bluff has no chance against Roginski. No chance. I mean, the Cesarewitch trial, Roginski was giving so much weight away. And even with Harry Davis's claim, it was still a lump. It was still a lump, and no one could get past. I just think this Radzinski has a huge chance. 14-1. It is probably my nap of the whole meeting here. Each way, I think this horse has got a huge chance. Now, it was a brilliant return to action. Beat Trushan. Obviously, we know Trushan's been a little bit disappointing in the further flight stakes at Nottingham. But Radzinski did what he always does. Tashkent was in third that day and was so game. Made all. They came to him. He kept going. He was a massive price at 16-1. And listen, I think even though he's off 108, Harry Davis is still allowed to claim.
Mustache question.
Yes, go on.
I have a question. That form that you're directly quoting, the Cesarewitch trial, obviously gave weight away to Call My Bluff. There was a swing in the weights of a stone. Now there's a swing in the weights of a stone and a half. So what do you make of that then? If you're going to quote figures, go on.
Make it 2 stone and still beat him.
Oh, so, here we go. He beat the once-in-a-lifetime weight-carrying Trushan from the Northumberland Plate. Beat that one time, and it's a chewing off 108.
By the way, another thing though, the Nottingham race, Tashkent as well went to France and bombed out as well. So did Trushan. So the form of that race hasn't worked out.
Well, he beat them fair and square. He beat them fair and square. Give it away. This horse loves Chester. He loves it. And I don't think there's a Cleveland or a Coltrane in this field that were in front of him to kind of, I'll say threaten him. There's always horse. The favourite looks thrown in. But listen, how many hard luck stories have we seen in this race before? If Radzinski can get into a good rhythm, he's not going to be far off the pace. I know obviously he's gone up in the weight since last year, but he deserves to be. He deserves that rise because he's improved. He is a 7-year-old, but he's not shown that he's regressing any way, shape, or form. He'll beat Call My Bluff, and I think he'll win it. So, lads, if you want a match bet, bring it on. Whatever you want, I'll start up my bookies from in here, and we'll get those bets laying on.
It'd be something to think about now. Similar prices, maybe. I'll maybe quote you on that match bet.
Listen, you can't give it all big bollocks now, and then try and come at me.
I'll do a match bet.
I don't have
have a match bet now.
There we go. I don't have an issue with your fancy. You just come out here all guns blazing saying Call My Bluff has no chance. Have I ever said Radzinski has no chance? No. I've just been quoting pure facts. I'm keeping a very level head. I'm quoting pure facts. You come out here, no chance.
Well, listen, this game is all about opinions. If you don't have a strong one.
We're still got to wait for a draw.
Exactly, precisely. Anyway.
No, we're not. Look, neither of the horses will even run.
Jesus. Right, we'll get a recap on our fancies. Our fancies are obviously the main ones there, but Lee, you're sort of like a couple of horses your eyes on?
Zoffy and Yukon Glen. I think the favourite's got a solid chance if it can get a clear run. Like Harry says, it's sometimes a bit of a minefield, but I think the favourite's kind of thrown in. But Zoffy, Yukon Glen, and Call My Bluff is the main fancy.
Lovely. Call My Bluff for me and Calling the Wind. Maybe Metier as well. He's sort of on my short list. The soft condition should help it and should stay very, very well. Harry?
You should know this because it's going to be the winner.
Go on. Recap for the ladies and gentlemen.
Radzinski.
Just the one. Lovely. I like it. Just the one dart. Fantastic stuff.
That's all he needs.
That's all he needs. He's got the winner, ladies and gentlemen. We'll then go on to Saturday. We're going to cover both of the trials over at Lingfield. The listed Oaks trials, the first one that we'll cover, the 3 o'clock at Lingfield, 1 mile free and half a furlong. 14 as we talk, but only 12 will get a run. Blue Stocking, 5-2, top in the market. Rafe Beckett, Rob Hornby for Juddmont. Be Happy. Aidan O'Brien, 4-1 for Coolmore. Sea of Roses, Andrew Boulding, Ocean Murphy, 5s. And you can have bigger prices about the rest. I'm going to go over to Harry. He seems to be on a little bit of hot form now, or at least hot form in talking. His tipping has been horrendous. What do you fancy, Harry?
Yeah, listen, I'll give you that one because that was quite good for you. But I am going to take a little bit of a step back from this one.
He's taking a pull. He's taking a pull at the top of the hill.
I've taken a pull. I'm not sent a centre on 4 out, but I do think Eternal Hope has a nice chance. It was a decent winner on the step up in trip at Chelmsford. Harry Davis took the ride that day. I just think this horse is going to be better, just getting further and further and further. Like I said, she recorded nice RPRs, good on the improve. Whether she goes is a different story. We don't actually know. As you mentioned, some of these, like there's 14 already entered. She is currently 7th, so she should get in. Well, she will get in if she's declared. But it's just a tricky race, this one. Yeah, the favourite looks good. That was a proper performance last time at Salisbury. If you nailed me, I'm going Eternal Hope, but not one that I'd be like piling in on.
That's fine, no problem at all, Harry.
Lee,
Lee,
took a pull.
Took a lovely pull there. You now got plenty for the finish. Lee, what do you fancy?
Well, I'm kicking on up the hill because I think Blue Stocking's a good bet, to be fair. I really like the way she went about stuff the last day. It was over the mile, stepping up to a mile 3.5 here, but I think that will suit. For the right connections as well, Rafe Beckett knows how to win these type of races with these fillies. So I think she's a strong bet, to be fair. I think, do I make me nap? No, I'm going to save me nap, but Blue Stocking I think will win.
Lovely stuff. I am going to be taking a swing on Sea of Roses here for Andrew Boulding. I think you've got a decent chance. If you even just look back 2 starts ago, beat Infinite Cosmos, who's obviously gone on and done very, very nice things next time out, and 7-1 second favourite for the Oaks. Even go before that, second to Arrest reads very nicely. Now, I know
that is good form.
No, it's good form. I know Arrest was giving away, I'm doing the maths now in my head, £11, because obviously many allowances there, and Arrest has won 6, but still I run a decent race. And then the last day should be race fit, second over in France, was fairly like the Boulding team, although it went off 19-1, it wasn't like obviously smashed off the boards. The Boulding team sort of fairly thought that she'd run a decent race that day, and you know she's obviously done that, finished second. Should be race fit, the soft conditions be right up her street. The extra furlong should be an issue as well. I think she's got a very, very good chance. She's closely related to a Group 3 winner for Chris Waller in Australia called Desert Icon, who's rated something like 114. Really closely related. Like she's by See the Moon and got the same mare, and this Desert Icon's by See the Stars. It's got the same mare, and obviously See the Stars is the sire of See the Moon. I don't know how that works in like.
Yeah,
I know
how we got there at the end, haven't we?
I like my pedigree, but I don't know how that works.
Does the pedigree out?
Is it like 3 parts sister? I don't know what it is, but it's like granddads and
look. It's like she lent a strimmer once, and now she's her sister.
I think she's got a good chance. I think she's got a good chance now at the prices, and 5-1's a fair each way play for me. So I'll be playing the Oaks trial anyway. And we'll go on to the Derby trial, gentlemen.
Wait. Just recap. What did you say you're going each way?
Well, 5-1, that's a fair each way price, you know. It's a fair each way price. I have no issue with 5-1 each race.
No, I'm joking. I'm only joking.
For people watching, you know what? If you can get over 5s in 8-runner races and stuff like that, I think each way is not a bad play. A lot of people crab it, but I take it quite often. I'd rather get my money back and have that concession.
Also, especially in sort of like these, these Oaks and these conditions races, these open, not open, like level weighted company, like the horses haven't had many runs. You don't know all the things about them yet, so they could run a good race. They could run the race you're expecting. They also could run into a better one. So if they do that, then you're getting your money back, and you can put that stake onto another race where you may fancy one.
Just on that as well. Like if you do play sensibly, like 5-1. Effectively, if you win, brilliant. You're back to 5-1 winner. But if you've got like a hard luck story, as you mentioned, Ash, money back. Many people do that in sure bet where they do the top 3, you get your money back as well. But if you've got a 5-1 winner there, and if it comes in, happy days. If not, then you just move on. But you've got more chances, as you mentioned, in an 8-runner race.
Look at Sunday. If you had Ashes each race,
Jesus, no,
you would have cleaned up, and you would have been in profit every single race. But
I popped home for the Sunday, and I was watching all the race. I was sat there, and I know it's nice to back the horses that make the frame and stuff. I was sat there in an absolute slump, just like another one.
He was looking at
Sumo Sam's going well. Oh, running lines there, absolutely lobbing. Yeah. And there's like another one as well. Oh, absolutely lobbing. And of course, my dad backs Morge when I'm cheering home to hear. I'm like, please get up, and then he's back Morge. I'm like, oh, horrendous. Anyway, lovely stuff. The Derby trial is the final race we'll take an in-depth look into at Lingfield. Again, 14 entered, 12 only get a run. Military Order, 4-5, the warm favourite. Godolphin, Buick, Appleby, the dominant trio. Gulugon for Aidan O'Brien,
What
3
a
to
name
1.
that is.
What a name! What a name! Artistic Star, Rafe Beckett, Rob Hornby, 6s. Have what you like about the rest. I'll go Lee first of all. Final say. Well, first say on the final race, the Derby Trial. What do you fancy?
I'll keep it simple. I think Military Order is a worthy favourite. Won over 1 mile 2, steps up in trip, but I don't think that'll be a problem. Look, I know we're all in agreement. Harry, take it away. Come on.
Simple as should be 3 out of 3, apart from a nice educating ride by William Buick in October. The horse was just got outpaced, as I should say, in a key part of the race over 7. And at Newmarket, if you're giving away ground at that crucial time in the race, you're never going to get him back. But was doing his best work at the end. And I think this horse has got all the right credentials for a Derby horse. Ticks the boxes for me. 4 to 5 is probably a generous price in here because I think this horse will demolish this lot. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. Military Order for me. I tried to find a way, and the only other way I sort of found into the race, maybe Circle of Fire could place. You know, like that second to Castle Way looks fairly decent now. That Godolphin horse who went and won the last day at Newmarket in the listed race, but that's just happened. Sorry, that's just happened. So completely just read the form wrong there. But no lie, I think that could be a fairly each way price. You know, that Castle Way looks fairly decent horse. But
I wouldn't back it now though. I wouldn't back him now. If I'm backing that horse now to win at 14 to 1, I'd back him at 66s to win the big one.
To win the Derby for the King and Queen.
Yeah, I think that's
better. Can I just put in there as well? I think Blue Stockton I'd rather take for the Oaks as well.
We may have a small chat about this. So when we do anything else, because I'm going to have a say on the Derby as well. I'm not doing anything else.
It's worth having a look at them targets further down the line. There's plenty of targets. If you go onto the Racing Post, you can see their future targets as well if they're entered in certain races. But it's worth checking in the betting because you can get that little snip at an ante-post price before the run in these trails. So I do think, like you, Harry, with these horses, it's worth looking ahead.
It is worth it looking ahead. So if Circle of Fire goes, as obviously only ran a couple of days ago, if it goes, it might have a chance each way. But I'd be surprised if it does go. That's why I sort of leaned in towards Military Order. The fact that I thought the run the last day was really good at Newbury, just powered away, absolutely nothing got near it, and soft ground should suit. So yeah, very, very happy with that one. We'll go on then to anything else, gentlemen. Now, obviously, we're not going to talk too in depth about the Wednesday races, but there are decent races at Chester. Harry, I know you want to mention a little thing about Arrest, is a horse you quite like, and it's obviously going off to running at Chester as we upload this video today.
Yeah, Arrest is a lovely, lovely horse. Listen, I actually remember backing this horse at Sandown when he ran and he got beat. I don't know how he got beat. Even well, if you go back to the form isn't actually that bad.
Nostrum now, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not too bad form, but the right money. He was 5 to 4 and he was smashed right before the off. He was hammered, and I was thinking, I'm quids in here. And Frankie just he fell out the stalls. He was towards the back of the field. Those two were kind of in front of him, and they'd already sewn up the race when they turned in. And the way he finished was proper. And then he went to he had a few winners. He beat Desert Order. Then he went to Sea of Roses. Then he went to Saint Cloud. And he was only ahead behind Dubai Mile, who actually I gave a sweet mention for in the Guineas. Finished agonisingly. He finished a neck behind. It was out
of the places, wasn't it? Now it was 5th or 6th or something like that.
Yeah, he was 5th. He was 5th. I felt so sick.
Yeah.
But listen, Dubai Mile, I think he's got a massive chance. I said for the Derby, he was 33 to 1 on last week's video. He's now 16s. So value, cutting price, halving price. Listen to the videos. Arrest should win 4 to 6. No working man's price though, is it? But should win.
I just want to mention one thing about Arrest. He's probably I haven't looked too deep into the Derby now, but he's probably top of my list or at least top 2 of my list for the Derby. I think he's been a very, very good horse. And like I completely concur with what Harry's been saying about this horse. And I thought the last day really should have beaten Dubai Mile, but it just sort of like, it looked a bit sort of messy on that near side rail. Dubai
He
Mile
got outstayed by a proper horse in Dubai Mile.
Look, I reckon if I was having a punt on the Derby right now, it was 16's about him or 16's about a rest to reverse the form. I probably have the 16's about a rest to reverse the form personally, but that's just my thinking in it.
But you know, how are they making that other one so close? And they're betting at Chester when it was beaten about 7 lengths the last day of it. Like
Adelaide River.
Adelaide River. I can't see the turn the form round. I will give it a quick mention to Dawn. Shout out to Dawn from the Racing Social. She did tell me this horse, Arrest, was trained by her uncle. She did tell us it's 66-1 for the Derby. Did I get on? No, I didn't. 16s now. I know she did tell us, but shout out to Dawn. Go and follow her because she did tell us about Arrest.
Was that our uncle that bred it? Was that right?
Our uncle bred the horse, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, lads, on the Derby picture now. Obviously, we had August Rodin that was so disappointing. I mean, you can't really knock away from the fact this field now is basically 7-1 bar. Would you be willing to kind of forgive those?
August Rodin, no.
Oh, really?
Apparently, Aidan forgives the horse. So.
Well, look, Aidan can carry on. That's fine. He's going to, isn't he now? But like, it's just like I didn't like the horse coming into the Guineas because of reasons that I stated. And the fact I didn't think his Futurtuin was actually that good. I was probably in the minority that thought that. And look, he hasn't had the easiest run through there with Chaldine and all that in the Guineas, and the fact that he's had that barging match with his stablemate and got caught up with all of that stuff. But he just hasn't simply fired. And you know, I think it's quite the record of these like horses going to a Derby that bad a run is horrendous. Like there's probably isn't a record. There's probably barely any horses to have done it. And like to finish 12th in the Guineas and then go on to win a Derby, that's insane.
What I'd say, Military Order is currently 7-1 to win. Now, if he wins on Saturday, he won't be that price. Not a chance.
Same goes for Arrest.
He's far too short at that price though for the Derby, no?
No, you never know. If this horse comes out and absolutely pisses on Saturday,
there's a lot under the bridge to go under the bridge yet before.
There is. Listen, we're talking too much shite about Derby.
Well, waffling, let's go.
I'm just saying the rest again, 16-1. If that wins, then you could be looking at a shorter price, couldn't you? Lovely stuff. Naps, gentlemen. I want your nap of all the races we talked about. Best bet at this early stage. Harry, you've already said yours, but just to recap for lovely ladies and gentlemen watching.
Yeah, it's Animal Rising to be on the track. That is currently a 4-6 shot.
And your winner on the track?
I'm joking. We'll go Rajinsky in the Chester Cup. I think it's a huge chance. Harry Davis takes the ride once again, gets on really well with the horse. Pleasing return to action, beating Trushan at Nottingham. Disappointed at Ascot last time, but I'd forgive that run. And if he bounces back, I think he's only a couple of pounds higher than last year. He's got a huge chance and a big price. He's got a better chance than Call My Bluff anyway.
Lovely stuff. Lee?
I'm going to go against Harry's Animal Rising and I'm going to back the Goose to be on the track each week. No, I'll take Hamish. I think Hamish is a good bet. 3:15 Thursday in the Ormonde Stakes. Hamish 2-1. However.
Lovely stuff. Anything else section? Montasib in the Victoria Cup for me. Great run at Haydock the last day. Seems to be in great form. Slower form should help things, just sort of slow things down for him. Get him travelling well into the race. Adam Farah takes off 3. Lowest mark since his last handicap win. His last handicap win was off, I think, in the mid-80s and now runs off sort of like the mid-90s, but it's his lowest mark since then. So I think he should have a good chance. And it's something like 16-1 there. Montasib, my nap, I will go all the way back to the D stakes. I'll go back to the D stakes, local dynasty, 4-1 for me. That'll be my nap. I will give a small mention to Lose Your Wad, not to be mistaken by Blow Your Wad, which is what me and Harry backed the other day. Lose Your Wad was 4th in Military Order.
Didn't Play Your would win at Newbury.
Yeah, but that was over the hurdles, wasn't it? Now, and this is on the flat, and fourth to miniature order on debut, won well from the front the last day. The step up and trip should suit. Good shots should be fine. 18-1, massive price for Lose Your Wad, but Local Dynasty will be my nap in that race. Lovely stuff, gentlemen. That's all we got time to cover. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. We're only about 20 subscribers away, or just over now, from the 1,000 subscribers mark. Please, if there's anything you can do in your day, it takes less than 10 seconds. They'll be on your screen.
Listen, if it takes 10 seconds to click that subscribe button, you're doing something seriously wrong. It takes 1 second.
Just down here. Just down here. It's the subscribe button down here. Just subscribe.
Tell the neighbours. Tell the neighbours. Tell your auntie. Subscribe.
Tell everyone. No, and what's your big fancy for the week? Get that down in the comments, and we'll comment down below and we'll respond to it. If you did enjoy it, please do like and subscribe. Follow us all on Twitter. Our Twitters are on screen now. Go follow the Only Fools Love Horses racing account on Twitter as well. And we'll see you again on Saturday morning for our final fancies ahead of Lingfield and whatever else is going on ITV Racing on Saturday. That's 10:30 a.m. on Twitter. If you are having a bet, please do gamble responsibly. But we are wishing you the best of luck, and we'll see you very, very soon.